Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, guys, this is from Child Dianetics. I think the FBI would be very interested in what this book has to say. And here is the cover. Child Dianetics, Dianetic Processing for Children. Think Homeland Security might be interested as well. Compiled from the research and lecture materials of L. Ron Hubbard by the staff of the Hubbard Research Foundation. Okay, I'm going to go back to page 68. Still followed in 2024. And here we go. Chapter 9 of Child Dianetics, Sessions with Children. The following is a verbatim account of several Dianetic processing sessions, or portions of sessions with children, children. Its purpose is to show how an auditor may work with children who are old enough for processing in reverie. I forgot the apostrophe in it. Nephew, Jimmy, age 10 and a half. Age 10 and a half. Has been showing the auditor his workbench in the model airplanes he is currently building. Jimmy knows that his uncle is an HDA. Something auditor, but doesn't know what Dianetics is. He has a great deal of affinity for his uncle. Of course, they make it sound all nice. I want to interject here. Actually, the auditor will be a complete grown stranger in most cases, usually of the opposite sex. Auditor, very nice. Say, let's try some Dianetics. I'm going to emulate a child voice, you guys, so if it sounds a little crazy. Okay, what do I do? Make yourself comfortable on the bed, bed. Take off your shoes. Jimmy does this. You want a pillow? Are you comfortable? I don't need a pillow. I'm all right. You will remember all that happens, all right? You may close your eyes. If the light is too bright, you may put one arm over your eyes. Jimmy does this. Now let's return to a very pleasant incident. Pause. What are you doing? I was playing with my dog in the backyard. What is your dog's name? Spike. What do you hear? My dog was barking. What else do you hear? Cars going by in the street? Is anyone talking? No. Is anyone else there? Yes. My mother was hanging up the wash. Jimmy remains aware of the reality of the incident as something that happened to him in the past, continues to use past tense, and yet returns efficiently. Perceptics seem to be good. What are you doing? Playing with my dog. Is it fun? Yes. What sort of day is it? Warm. What happens next? I go in the house. Let's return to the beginning of the incident and go through it again. I was in the backyard. I was playing with my dog. After a while, I go in the house. Return to the beginning and go through it again. I was in the yard. What do you hear? The cars going by and my dog barking. Are you saying anything? No. How old are you? 3. Continue. I pet my dog and then I go in the house. How do you feel? Fine. Let's go now to a pleasant incident when you were a little older. Pause. What are you doing? I was out on the front lawn. My picture was being taken. Who's taking the picture? My father. What's he wearing? Hue pants and a white shirt. Is anyone else there? Yes, my mother and sister. They are in the picture. What is being said? Father says smile. Can you hear the camera click? Yes. What else? Cars going by. What happens now? We went to Sunday school. Who goes with you? My mother and sister. How about your father? He doesn't go. Go back to the beginning and run through it again. I was out on the front lawn. How old are you here? 5. The auditor has Jimmy roll through the incident several times. Jimmy's sister Mary and another girl, Judy, both aged 12, enter while the incident at age 5 is being rerun, making some noise. Do you know what happens just now, Jimmy? My sister and Judy came in. Did it disturb you? No. Is it all right to demonstrate for them? Sure. The auditor has Jimmy rerun the incident at 5, including the disturbance caused by entrance of sister and girlfriend. All right, let's return to a pleasant incident, which happened when you were a little baby. What are you doing? I was in the crib. Anyone else there? No, I was supposed to sleep, but I didn't. What are you thinking? Oh, about what to do? Is it pleasant? Yes. How is the room? Warm. The shades are pulled down. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Diapers. Let's return to the beginning of the incident when your mother puts you to bed. What are you doing? I was in the front room on the floor. What happens? Mother came in the room and picked me up. Can you feel her lift you? Yes. Does she say anything? It's time for you to go to bed. How old are you? 6 months. Let's come up to present time. Present time. How old are you? 10. What's your age? 10. Give me a number. 10. All right. You may open your eyes. Jimmy sits up. How did you like it? Fine. Say, Unc, what is this Dianetics? Wouldn't it be great, I have to interject, wouldn't it be great if all the auditors were actually a blood relative? I mean, maybe not. You never know. Why? It's a process whereby you return to incidents in your past life and visit them over again. Was it fun? Yes. Mary, would you like to try? Mary, Mary, would you like to try? No. Why not? It's fun. That is inserting a thought. You see, Why not? It's fun. You know, because all 5-year-olds love this stuff, or 10-year-olds. Yeah, why don't you? Well, hold on. Okay, you guys, I think I lost my place. I'm going to start right after the first session. The auditor has Jimmy roll through the incident several times. Jimmy's sister Mary and another girl, Judy, both aged 12, enter while the incident at age 5 is being rerun, making some noise. Do you know what happened just now, Jimmy? My sister and Judy came in. Did it disturb you? No. Is it all right to demonstrate for them? Sure. The auditor has Jimmy rerun the incident at 5, including the disturbance caused by entrance of sister and girlfriend. All right, let's return to a pleasant incident, which happened when you were a little baby. Oh, wait, guys, I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, now I'm going to go to where Mary, 12 years old, gets audited. Mary, would you like to try? No. Why not? It's fun. Yeah, why don't you? Well, I don't know. Oh, all right. Make yourself comfortable on the bed, on the bed, on the bed. Mary does. Close your eyes. You may put your arm over your eyes if the light is too bright. You will remember what happens. Sounds like hypnosis. Let's return to an incident that happened when you were much smaller. What are you doing? Nothing. What do you see? Nothing. All right. Let's return to a pleasant incident at about the age of 3, as Jimmy did. What are you doing? Nothing. I can't do anything. Yes, you can. Try it and see. Boundaries. Now, what are you doing? I was out at the side of the house. My picture is being taken. Who's taking your picture? Mother. Is anyone else there? No. What does your mother say? Smile. Can you hear the camera click? Yes. What happens then? A station wagon drives up and we get in it to go to Sunday school. What is your mother wearing? A green and white dress. The auditor has Mary run through the incident several times, then asks Mary to go to a pleasure moment at about the age of 1. I was on the floor in the dining room, resting in a playpen. What are you doing? I'm gurgling. Can you hear anything else? There's someone talking in the front room. Who is it? I don't know. Is your mother there? I don't know. Yes or no? Is your mother there? Yes. Who else? I don't know. Is it another woman? Yes. What are they talking about? I don't know. What do you hear them saying? I hear them talking, but I don't know what they're saying. Listen closely. What are they saying? It sounds like French. Does your mother talk French? No, but it sounds like French. All right, let's return to the beginning of the incident and go through it again. The auditor has Mary go through the incident several times and then brings her up to present time. Come up to present time. How old are you? 12. What is your age? 12. Give me a number. 12. You may open your eyes. How do you feel? All right. Now, what about you, Judy? Would you like to try? Both of the other children urge her to try, and she agrees. The auditor returns to an incident at about the age of 3. What are you doing? I am playing with my dolls. Where are you? I am on the blanket. Where are you? In this little park. Is anyone there with you? Yes, my mother. What is your mother doing? She's sleeping. And what are you doing? Playing with my dolls. What do you hear? Cars are going by, people are walking. What do you say to your dolls? Nothing. Let's go back to the beginning of this incident and go through it again. Judy does this several times. How do you feel? Fine. Let's go now to an incident at about the age of 7. What are you doing? I'm swimming in this pool with my girlfriend. Where is this? In the mountains. We are having a vacation, and I am swimming with my girlfriend. What's her name? Barbara. How's the water? It's cold. Are you enjoying yourself? Yes, it's fun. How old are you? 7. All right. Let's come up to present time. How old are you? 9. Let's come up to present time. What is your age? 12. Give me a number. 10. Come all the way up to present time. Now, what's your age? 12. How old are you? 12. Let me have a number. 12. Open your eyes. How do you feel? All right. The children agreed that returning was fun, and go into supper. After supper, the auditor talks alone to Jimmy about Dianetics. Jimmy habitually wets the bed. That's not traumatic. Do you still wet the bed? Yes. How old were you when it first started? Oh, I guess I was about 7. Remember the first time you did it? Yes. Anyone else in your family wet the bed? No. All right, let's find out more about it. Make yourself comfortable. Take off your shoes. Take off your shoes. Okay. Let's return to the first time you wet the bed. What are you doing? Are you asleep? Yes. What happens? I was asleep. I was dreaming. Then I woke up. The bed was wet. I got up and went to the bathroom. Then I came back and put a blanket on the bed. Return to the beginning. You are dreaming. Yes. What are you dreaming about? A baby gun. Yes or no? Is the first time you wet the bed? No. Let's return to the first time you wet the bed. What happens? I was asleep. I was dreaming. This is not traumatic, is it? What are you dreaming about? A BB gun. I dreamed about BB guns all that year. This auditor immediately sees a likeness between BB and baby. How old are you? 7. How much earlier in this than the other time? The week before. Who in your family told you you were a big baby? My father. Let's return to the first time your father told you this. What are you doing? I was fighting with Mary. What happens? She slapped me and I started to cry. What does your father say? You're a big baby. The child was a big baby at birth, over 10 pounds. What else? Go take a bath and go to bed. How old are you now while this is happening? 6. Answer yes or no. Is this the first time your father says this to you? Yes. What happens later that night after you go to bed? I'm dreaming and I wake up. The bed is wet. Yes or no? Is this the first time that you wet the bed? Yes. Return to the scene with your sister. What do you hear? My sister and I were fighting. Does she say anything to you? You're a big dope. What do you say? I call her a big dope. Then she hits me in the face. Can you feel it? Yes. What do you do? I start to cry. What does your father say? You're a big baby. Go take a bath and go to bed. The auditor runs this lock as an engram several times. Runs a pleasure incident, brings Jimmy to present time, and then asks Jimmy what has happened during the session. Recites it and is pleased. Later in a private conference with the father, the auditor pointed out to him that go to bed and take a bath, as commanded in the father's dominating voice, might key in you're a big baby circuit. This is mind control, by the way. Father supplied the information, and every night it is a job to get Jimmy to bed. He tries to have him take a bath every other night. He finally has to force Jimmy by shouting the take a bath and go to bed orders as threats. Jimmy wets his bed almost every night. It was suggested that other means be used to get him to take a bath and go to bed, and that perhaps Mother's voice is not keyed in the circuit. It was also suggested that different words might do the trick, or that it might be best to allow Jimmy to go to bed when he likes. Father agreed to try. At the auditor's next visit, 1 week later, Jimmy agrees to demonstrate for several people who are now interested. The auditor returns him to about the age of 7, after cautioning the spectators to be as quiet as possible. What are you doing? Playing with my dog, Pinky. Where is this? In the backyard at Purcell Street. What sort of day is it? Hot. How old are you? 5. What happens? I am feeding my dog. And what is your age, please? 5. What year is it? 1947. 5 is the wrong age, but the year and circumstances check. This incident is run several times, and Jimmy is asked to go to an incident at the age of 6. What are you doing? I'm learning to ride my new bike. Yes or no? Do you have an accident? Yes. Let's go to an earlier pleasure incident at about the age of 4. How do you feel? Fine. What are you doing? The auditor runs Jimmy through 2 other incidents several times and then brings him up to present time. Are you in present time? Yes. Eyes are still closed. What do you see? I see the baby eating animal crackers. This astounded the observers, as the animal cracker box hadn't been given to the baby until after Jimmy was in reverie. Jimmy was then sent from the room with the explanation that information about this return in reverie would be given to him later. The auditor added that he wanted to encourage Jimmy's own views of the matter without having them influenced by the questions the observers might ask. Jimmy agreed. The reason for not approaching the smash-up of the bicycle at this time, that the pre-clear was not prepared to face it, was given. Also, given the observations was an explanation of the present time animal cracker scene, that the noises made by the animal cracker box and the baby were a translation into the visual perceptic by the boy's analytical mind. Further, even had the auditor, though, thought it fantasy, extrasensory perception, or just a guess, he would not have communicated the fact to the pre-clear, as this would have invalidated his sense of reality. After the demonstration with Jimmy, the observers were interested in trying Dianetics immediately. Sure. 6 other persons were run through the experience of returning to incidents in their childhood. Judy's mother mentioned that Judy couldn't remember things that happened farther back than 6 months before. Judy and her mother are separated from their father. Judy seems obviously affected by early arguments between father and mother. Later, when Judy came in and volunteered to demonstrate, the auditor returned her to an incident at the age of 4. Where are you? In the field next door. What's happening? I'm having my picture taken. How do you feel? I'm mad. What are you mad about? I don't know. I'm just mad. Who's taking your picture? The man next door. The man next door. What does he say? Come on, let's smile. Do you? No. What makes you mad? I don't know. I just am. Auditor computes that finding out what made Judy mad may be re-stimulative to the mother who is an observer. It may concern the father and mother, so the auditor does not try to find the origin of this feeling. After running this incident several times, Judy is sent to a more pleasant incident at the age of 5. My girlfriend is showing me her collection of dolls. She is rich. What is her name? Barbara. What happens now? Barbara goes out of the room. Her mother calls her. What do you do? Stand and look at all the dolls. She has every kind. Are you having fun? Yes. And how old are you at this time? 5. What next? Barbara comes back in. What does she say? I've got to do the dishes now. What do you say? Do you have to do things when your parents say? Does she answer? Yes. What? Yes. And you? I say, oh. This incident is related several times, and then Judy is brought to present time. Judy's mother is pleased by the demonstration, sure she is, but risks invalidating data by talking about it in front of the child. For some reason, her mother insists on filling in. Judy was always mad at the man next door. Would never smile when he was around. Red flag. Also, she says Judy gets names wrong. Barbara was another girlfriend, and the one with all the dolls was June. The auditor quickly changes the conversation by asking for another pre-clear to demonstrate. The next day, the auditor resumed his sessions with Jimmy. Whom are you like in your family? Oh, I don't know. Are you like your father? No. Mother? No. Sister? No, not like her at all. Did anyone ever say that you were just like your father, your mother, or anyone else? No. No one said anything like that. Who in your family wears glasses? Jimmy wears glasses for school and work. For schoolwork. Father and mother and sister, all of them, except the baby. When did you first wear glasses? Last year. When did you first notice you needed glasses? I was reading my school lessons at school, and when I finished, I looked up and couldn't see very well. When was this? Last year. All right, let's see about that. Make yourself comfortable on the bed. Make yourself comfortable on the bed. Jimmy does. Now, it may be necessary to return to a moment where you are uncomfortable, have a pain, or what is called a somatic. A somatic is a feeling of pain. By running through this somatic several times, it will go away. In Dianetics, it is necessary to return to the somatic and eliminate it, do away with it, so that we have greater pleasure in life. Are you willing to do this? Yes. Remember, just be prepared to do what I ask. Do what I ask. Do what I ask. And the somatic will go after we go over it several times. You will remember all that happens. Okay. Return to the first time you thought you didn't see so well. What are you doing? I was in school. What do you see? My teacher, Mr. Bidwell. What is he saying? Turn to the problems in your arithmetic book, page 46. What happens? I do the problems. Do you see the first problem? Yes. Read it to me. I can't. Maybe you can if you try. Read it to me. Boundaries, anyone? Jimmy reads the problem from visual recall. Do you have trouble with problems? No. Are you good at arithmetic? Yes. That is pretty good. How about your eyes? When I finish the problems, I look up and don't see very good. Yes or no? Is this the first time? No. Let's return to the first time this happens. What are you doing? I am reading my science lesson at school. I look up and I don't see so very good. How old are you at this time? 9. Go through this incident again. The auditor has Jimmy read the science lesson from Visio Recall, but the content of the lesson seems to have nothing to do with his eyes. What happened 3 days before this science lesson? Nothing. Let's return to 3 days before this time. What are you doing? Reading my science lesson. Same one? No. How are your eyes? Okay. Anything happened that evening? Any quarrels? No. All right, let's return to that other time, when you look up from the lesson and can't see so well. What do you do afterward, when you get home? Tell my mother. What does she say? Maybe I'm reading too much. I ought to go to a doctor for a checkup. How do you feel? Fine. Let's go now to the incident needed to resolve the case. When I speak the letters from A to E and snap my fingers, that's hypnotism, you will be at the beginning of the incident. A, B, C, D, E. What do you hear? I am reading my science lesson in school. How old are you? 9. Let's return to the incident needed to resolve this case. When I recite the first 5 letters of the alphabet, you will hear the first words of the incident. A, B, C, D, E. What happens? I am in school going over my science lesson. Jimmy goes through this again, and the auditor tries again with another approach, reasoning that perhaps Jimmy does not understand what he means. The auditor wants to find out just how much Jimmy does understand. Let's return to the first moment of discomfort, the very first moment of discomfort. Return to the first, very earliest moment of discomfort. What happens? My mother is spanking me. How old are you? About 1.5 years. Yes or no? Is this the first time you were ever spanked? Yes. What does your mother say? Nothing. Does anyone else say anything? No. Does a neighbor speak to your mother? No. Yes or no? Are there any words in this incident? No. The auditor risks invalidating data here by continuing to ask for words and phrases. He realizes, of course, or should if he knows his Dianetics, that there are engrams without verbal content. How does it feel? Not so good. What does your mother say? Nothing. What do you say? I cry. What happens then? Mother takes me in and puts me in the crib. What do you do? Keep on crying for a little while. Let's return to the beginning of the incident. My mother was spanking me. What happens before your mother spanks you? I was reaching for something on the coffee table. What does mother say? Don't touch that. If you do, I'll have to spank you and put you to bed. Where are you? In the front room. What are you reaching for? An ashtray. What happens? My mother picks me up and spanks me. What does she say? Nothing. Can you feel the spanking? Yes. Jimmy's body position shows that he is feeling pain. Is it too painful? No. What happens then? My mother takes me in the bedroom and puts me in the crib. By the 4th time through this incident, the somatic is reduced. How do you feel? Shall we go on? Fine. Okay. Let's return now to the first moment of conception. Return to the first moment of conception. Return to the first moment of conception. Jimmy starts through science lesson again. The problem here is, what will Jimmy understand when the auditor is trying to enter an engram? Now, let's return to way before you were born, to the first moment you were aware. Return to way before you were born. When I go from A to E and snap my fingers, you will hear the first words. A, B, C, D, E. What do you hear? Nothing. When I read from A to E, you will hear the first words. A, B, C, D, E. What do you hear? Nothing. What happens? My mother was out walking. She walks a couple of blocks and turns around and comes home. Pick it up at the beginning and go through it again. My mother was out walking. What do you hear? Cars going by. What does your mother say? Nothing. What do you see? Nothing. How old are you? 8. Yes or no? Is it 8 days? Yes. Continue. Mother walks a couple of blocks, turns around and comes home. How do you feel? Is there any discomfort? Yes, all over my body. Where are you? In my mother's stomach. Can you guys believe this? Start at the beginning. My mother was out walking. What happens first? Let's go back 10 minutes before this. What is happening? I'm asleep. My mother walks down the steps and up the block. Just where do you wake up? Just as she steps down the bottom step. Just as she steps down the bottom step? Yes. Then she walks up the street. What do you hear? Cars going by? Anything else? My mother's footsteps. How do you feel? Not too bad. What happens next? Mother turns around and walks home. What happens when she gets home? She walks up the steps into the house. How many steps? One, two, three, four. 4. What do you see? Nothing. A confirmation there is no visio in the prenatal period, though there are other perceptics. Can you hear the door slam? Yes. What does your mother do then? She sits down. What do you do? I go to sleep. On the 4th run through the complete incident, the discomfort somatic reduces. As the 12th run, the sonic content remains, although perhaps not as intense as before. Jimmy seems relaxed because he's getting hypnotized, refreshed and pleased. Pleasure incident is run, and then Jimmy is asked to come to present time. What's your age now? I'm 10 years old. You may open your eyes. Opens his eyes. They're not the same as before. They're not the same as before. What's not the same? My eyes, I can see. The other times I had trouble seeing when I opened them. Good. How do you feel otherwise? Good. How'd you like it? Fine. I didn't understand those long words in the middle. Oh? Well, sometimes I use words in my language that means things you don't know in your language. If I ever use a word you don't know, ask me, and I'll explain it in your language. Probably already know what it means. What were the words? Do you mean conception? Yes. Conception is the meaning of the father's cells with your mother's cells before they become a baby. You know it. In those words, don't you? Yes. In somatic? Somatic means pain. Somatic, understand? Yes. Any others? No. Ask me if you think of any, okay? Yes. Do you remember what happened? Yes. You worked with my eyes, and my mother was out walking before I was a baby. Have you wet the bed lately? Just once. It was last night. This session lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes, and it was now time for supper. Jimmy was pleased enough to tell his parents something about the session. Of course he was. As to the pre-clear statement about his eyes feeling better, we may assume that any improvement in this respect was due to a general release of tension, since the engram contacted apparently contained no material which could be constructed to be directly affecting Jimmy's eyes. So I'm going to end it here, you guys. The auditor was interjecting commands to the child. And then the repeating the questions was some type of, I don't know what that was meant for, but it was some type of a programming. I'm not sure what it was. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night. Peace.